If you ever find yourself in this situation, you may think it's over. But what if I told you that this was probably the easiest thing to defend? Welcome everyone to another video where I'm gonna share some tips on Rise of Nations that I've learned from experience. This won't necessarily be a tutorial, more of some random tips that will help you. To begin with, let's look at this scenario here. There are 3 skills that will help you. One is noticing information given to you. For example, the opposition is using untrained troops. This means that they are quite vulnerable. They are also using infantry. This means that any kind of bombing, like artillery, will severely damage them. Most importantly, however, it's important to realize that the infantry are spread out, half surrounding your country. This means that they'll walk through cities and surround your infantry, which deals more damage. That's the first skill, observation. The second skill, organization. In an attack like this, there are many different routes you could go down. I'm going to choose the most convenient one for me. First, I'm gonna get more troops by selecting a bunch of cities and getting infantry. This makes it quicker. It's also known as spamming. Second of all, I need to get a doctrine. I'm choosing static lines because it was made for defense. Thirdly, I'll group up all the infantry and stack it in my capital. Luckily, since this is a small country, they can't force peace without my capital. Now I need to upgrade my infantry technology. Notice how the enemy isn't using any tanks. That means that we only have to upgrade the middle line. This is very important. In order to get steel for forts, we need to make a factory and do some trading for iron and titanium. Now, since my ideology is non-aligned, it would be smart to get a neutral policy to increase income, stability and resistance. Entrenched troops in cities with fortifications deal much more damage and take much less damage. We also need to train our troops for the mountains, and after it finishes you can double tap the train button and it will train them up to 175%. We can also get a military leader for extra buffs. I'll also get artillery to deal extra damage. When war starts, you can scorch outer cities to damage their troops and prevent them from camping there. I would also put my military spending to the max, but I forgot in the recording, so you'll see what happens when it's only halfway. I'd like to point out that this is a very simple scenario. If the player had artillery, tanks, ships and planes, this would be very different. Now, even after you defeat their army, don't move your troops because then they're vulnerable. Just propose a white peace, after taking a screenshot of the casualties, of course. So, what happens if we put it on a bigger scale? Here I'm playing as Italy, and France, with a population of over 1 billion, has more than 10 million troops ready to slaughter me. Now you'll all see my tips used in action, still in a very simple scenario. I'll make another video of using them in a public server.